How does what, Cameron?
That happen? Like you just
You leave a ring on your finger for a year or two when you get married, and you get depressed and fat because you're unhappy, and nobody puts you in check in your fucking fat hands. And one day you go, I want to take this ring off, and you can't fucking take it off.
Yep.
That's what I imagine.
No, 100%.
Or
you gain a lot of weight.
it's a brand new ring that they're like, oh, let me put this on,
True. They go on easy.
and they just couldn't get it off.
Yep.
And this all happened in a matter of a day or two.
Yep.
Whoa. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Oh,
That was so
celebration at the
anticlimactic.
beginning. I love it.
You want one?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna
gotta
pop another one.
All right, dude.
See, yours
that was good.
yours was
there
epic.
We
There
go.
we go.
That's much better.
That first one was
That's much
disappointing.
better.
Welcome to Riches and Rags, episode number 22. I think we're at.
Wow.
Connor Brown is
Thank
my
you, man.
guest today. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do?
Sure. Yeah, man, I got passions all over the place, but professionally right now, I'm working for a startup I co-founded here out of Albuquerque. So I'm a supercomputer guy. So tech person, been working with supercomputers like my whole life ever since I was out of high school.
Damn.
So yeah, really into tech. I've been at the labs most of my career here in town. Left for a little bit to go work in Silicon Valley for like a year, smaller company. Did a lot of travel, went all over the place, a lot of different companies. Went up to like Bank of Canada, did a little bit of travel outside the US for them. A lot of universities and stuff. Came back to Sandia, and then the founder of the company that I'm working for now had a good idea, and we just chat about it. And I've always had like an entrepreneurial spirit. So, a lot of people back in college, I bounce ideas off of them. We talk all the time, and I was like, dude, I got to try this. So
and the co-founder, it's just you and one other guy?
No, so it's five of us.
It's five of you guys.
So we got 5 people. 3 of us left the labs January. So we're all 5 ex-Sandians. So 3 of us left in January.
From Sandia High School, right? Not Sandia Labs?
No, Sandia Labs.
Oh, so you're ex-Sandia Labs.
Ex-Sandia Labs, yeah.
Keep going. I'm going to hit this GoPro.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So, yeah, we got 5 guys left the labs. 3 of us been out since January. 2 of the guys left in June. So just been on the grind, trying to get VC funding, trying to continue to develop our product. And, yeah, it's been a crazy ride so far, man.
So how many years have you guys, from the formation of the idea to the business?
I think it's been 3 years now. So the founder's name is Victor Coons. So he kind of came up with this idea like 2.5, 3 years ago when he was starting to teach students, right? So supercomputing, right? I mean, just like the definition of that's really challenging.
This is going to be fun because I'm used to having like, photographers and musicians.
Yeah.
So you're my first tech guest.
Okay.
So feel free to explain it like I'm 5.
Yeah.
That'll definitely benefit the audience too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we've had to go to. And so we can get into that, and just that's kind of one of our messaging problems that we've had is like, how can we relay supercomputing and relate that to somebody, right? Like, okay, who knows what supercomputing is,
So you started the idea about 3 years ago. When did you form the business on paper?
Business formed as a Delaware C Corp in December of last year.
And why did you go with Delaware?
So we had advisement from, we have some like professional advisors that have been kind of guiding us. And that was the way that a lot of VCs prefer to invest in companies is via Delaware C Corp.
Does VC stand for venture capitalist?
Yeah, venture capital firms.
And that's how you get funding for your projects?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're pursuing right now is venture capital funding because we really want to grow this idea, huge. And so, we can probably get some small funding, right? But we need, millions of dollars potentially to get this to really where we want to go.
So what's the idea? What's the big idea?
Yeah, sure.
The message or
Yeah. In one line, I think really what we're trying to do is democratize high performance computing. So to dig into that a little bit, all the places that I've worked over the years, like supercomputing, high performance computing, big computation is really for the elite, right? You got to have millions of dollars, massive data center, massive cooling.
It's a physical space needs
Absolutely.
to actually be big for all those racks and racks, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't just set it up in a house.
No.
Okay.
No.
How much space are we talking for?
Like 20, 30,000 square feet or some of these data
shit.
centers. Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
So they're huge. And
Okay.
then the power
Wow.
requirements for some of these places is like, I think currently the labs uses as much power as all of Rio Rancho does. So
Gnarly.
just the labs.
Are they
right?
supercomputing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, supercomputing areas and stuff in data centers. So, it's a big challenge. And so back in the day, right, and in the 80s, 90s, right, like Wozniak types and stuff like this, you'd have people that would play with technology, build it, learn, develop, right, create these things, and everyone had access to it, right? And nowadays that's not true. So, if I'm a high school student and I want to learn how to run, some computational model or something like that, I don't have anywhere to go, right? And then even if I'm a researcher at Sandia or at Sandia Labs or something like that, I have to be super important, right? And I have to be able to, get into the queue, right, of using this resource.
So by
and
saying
wait in line.
democratize the supercomputing, it's almost in a way making it more accessible for the little guys to get them on the same playing field.
Yep, absolutely. So we're not really
Okay.
targeting like, company number one, like, we're all of us in the company are all sports guys or sports car guys. So, and automobile people. So like number one, right, company like Formula One, right? That's not who we're going to maybe go after, right? But the number two or number three mom and pop shop that wants the same capability as the Formula One team, right? That's who we're trying to give access to be able to run the same things that these big companies are. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, so my question in my head is like, is he running like Apple? Is he running Microsoft, Linux?
Mhm.
What kind of, or is it completely brand new from scratch? The type of emerging technology you're using. What's going on there?
Yeah. So there's kind of the hardware perspective and then
Yeah.
the software perspective, right? So the methodology of the hardware is kind of what's novel to start. And then, from a software perspective, everything's Linux. So we're using Rocky Linux right now, which is a new distro. And our approach currently for like some of these edge devices, and that's why I brought that little demo, is bringing and building small form factors, right, of these massive machines that are in the data center. And the software that runs on these small machines is actually the same that runs in the big data centers.
Okay.
So, it's very very easy for people to go from this big data center model down to this small one. And they're actually quite powerful. So, with the modern technology actually has like supercomputer capability. It's pretty impressive.
How powerful is it? Powerful enough to keep my ex-wife away from me?
Yeah, I mean, oh man, that's a fun one. It's super powerful, right? From like different kinds of like machine learning stuff you could do, right, for like image recognition. So let's just play on that analogy for a minute, right?
Okay,
just have fun with it.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you could actually put a machine in here, right, and put cameras outside and run
Okay.
machine learning models, like, and train them for like your
Oh, in
ex-wife.
case the same sketchy person, in case
Yeah.
my ex-wife just keeps coming around.
Yeah, so there's a fun project,
Oh.
I think, actually going around that Albuquerque's funding right now. I'm not super certain on all the details of it, but like you can potentially buy a machine and set it up and like help with like crime detection and stuff like that.
Oh, getting it's like a capitalistic version of the CCP's, a CCTV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so then they're like getting citizens to buy in on this.
That
right,
is
and to help
fascinating.
fight crime. So
I know Amazon's definitely with the Ring devices is
Mhm.
definitely trying to get everyone on that same kind of grid network
Oh.
to share that data with the police if they need to as well.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, and those things are powerful, man. There's quite a bit of computing power and stuff nowadays. It's pretty scary.
So you build you're looking to build the data center. So wow, we got lots of chats. he ain't about to snitch on people with computers. I'm not sure what they're saying. Thermos test run 3. I think they're trolling. Who knows?
No, it's coffee, man. Coffee and water. That's what's in the thermos.
Do you want any water, by the way? I've got Gerolsteiner sparkling water.
I'm okay, man. Thank you.
You never had this?
No.
It's my gift to you if you've never tried this brand.
No, I'd love to try it.
It's from Germany.
Is it? Okay.
I think the bubbles are superior, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's mineralized, too, so it's got your, Anyways.
Is it approved by have you seen that water guy on TikTok?
I don't know if it's approved by him. Oh, he goes to the geysers, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if he'd approve. Maybe he would, but
I don't know. That's the next guy.
he's going, like, next level.
Dude, he's like these guys that can, like, taste some of that stuff, right? And
So could your supercomputing thing calculate water, for example? Like, if we were going to run a bunch of tests on water and stuff, like, is that something you could do? Because now I was just trying to make a joke.
Right.
With the XY.
No, I
now
know.
you got me thinking,
Right.
what are the applications?
that's what's really interesting, right? As we've gone out into industry, there's a lot of places that this hasn't made it, right? And a lot of ideas that haven't been able to be, like, applied to supercomputing because it hasn't been accessible before, right? So some of these questions are like, we don't know, right? There's absolutely, probably some like chemical analysis, but like drilling, mining, right? Things like that, predictive modeling for, water levels over the next 40 years, stuff like that, right? There's absolutely all these kinds of models that exist in these elite arenas, right? Where people have tons of money to throw into it, but like the average person doesn't have access to, and like the average problems, like people haven't like realized that you could potentially solve a lot of problems with this computing power because they didn't know that they had it and they didn't know it was applicable.
So are you trying to just solve any and all problems, or are you targeting a specific area of problems for people's lives?
Yeah, I think we're starting, we're most familiar with like the national security space, having come out of like Zandia Labs.
Cool. Okay.
So, we're really focused on that market for now, but we're certainly interested in like, biotech, pharma, biopharma. We're interested in like the oil and gas industry. We're interested in machine learning, AI, and how we can, kind of bring devices more to the edge and kind of develop like a seamless workflow. We're interested in all of it, right? We would love to hear people's problems and how we can like adapt our methodology, to help them solve problems. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the average guy, his average life, what his average problem or her average problem might be, and how just a supercomputing problem could solve it, or equation could solve that for them.
Yeah, there's a couple, that are really interesting. So, we're all car guys, right, in the company. So you'd be surprised, how much you could actually do from like, okay, I'm a hobbyist, right? And like people spend big money on like, project cars and stuff, $100,000 on cars.
Oh yeah.
What if I'm like competing in my local track, right? In my local race event. And like, what if I wanted to see if I could put a wing on the back of my car, right? And model like the downforce that does before ever even having bought the wing to put on the car, right? That's a capability that we could potentially give like a hobbyist. And we've actually done this. So we have a mock-up of our founder's car, right? And we're doing some demos to see if we can play with the aerodynamics on it, and model that before we ever do anything, right? And so you can even model like internal combustion, right? So like, what if I change the fuel a little bit? And like, so this is all stuff that we can give to like the average person, right? Running on average hardware. So something that really hasn't been done before. So yeah, it's like back in the day when you had like your old, IBM machines and you were like wanted to write, a video game or something like that and take apart the hardware and build something or code something yourself, right? And that's kind of giving that capability back to the people again a little bit and teaching people how to use that again. So
a lot of what I'm getting is that it's interacting with the physical world, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's taking a picture of someone walking around or if it's running tests on, like you were saying, internal combustion or the drag of the wind force. What about something like digital software? I know like AI is popping off with mixing and mastering music right now. There was a couple new systems that came out. Do you have any applications where it would run just internally in a software?
We could potentially do some. So maybe now's a good time to maybe talk a little bit about supercomputing and what makes it different from like traditional computing.
Yeah, let's do it. Educate, be my guy.
Yeah, so this is really challenging. So, we had it's really funny actually. We had our founder go and give a keynote talk at the New Mexico Supercomputing Challenge. So it's like the biggest STEM event in New Mexico. And
Did you win?
No, we were just talking. We were just the
okay.
keynote speakers. So, but I there's some really cool projects that come out of it. So, he went to go talk, and he asked the students, right? I think they're mostly high school students, middle school students. He's like, can anyone tell me what a supercomputer is? And the audience was like, oh, they're computers that fly, right? So no one knows what a supercomputer is. People used to put pictures of a Cray, right, which is like the most famous supercomputer company of all time, on their walls and stuff like that, and they still didn't really understand. So, really to us and at Hunify, our idea of a supercomputer is essentially something that solves problems in parallel. So whereas you have like, a desktop computer or something like that, it'll have, you're solving with one computer at a time to solve a single problem, right? So if you open up like a Call of Duty or something, right, you're using just the hardware that's located on that machine. How supercomputing solve problems, it actually puts multiple machines together to tackle the problem.
It's
right?
almost how
problem.
cryptocurrency solves its solution for verification.
Yeah,
It
like with
sends
individual agents, right?
It'll send out one problem, and whatever computer can solve it first, it then gets verified by them.
It actually, a little different. So it actually solves them all at the same time, right? So
Each computer solves the same equation all at once?
Yeah, so it breaks up the
Okay.
problems. Like if I have 10 machines, it'd break up one problem into 10 small subsets, and then each individual machine would solve that problem, right, separately, and then come back with a single answer. So it breaks a single problem into smaller ones.
Are you programming? Are you writing the code for it? Or are you more on the hardware tech side?
So I'm writing the software stack that makes everything work, essentially. So there's a lot of pieces to like a supercomputer. You have like the base software, and then you have, your pieces on top of your codes and applications that you would run, similar to like Microsoft Word, but for like supercomputer world. And then you have like these schedulers, which are how you actually you wait in line essentially to run your application. So, there's a lot of pieces to it. So we're developing and trying to package everything all in one, right, for the first time, really, and make sure that, we deliver something to somebody who has no idea, right, about how to run. They're maybe just the researcher that understands the science that they're trying to run. And we deliver everything to them so that they can just run their work. And they don't have to worry. They don't have to be a sysadmin. They don't have to understand networking or, security or any of that, right? They can just go and do their work. So
how do you tell it? Because I'm trying to, if you're talking about taking one problem and dividing it into like 10 sub-problems, and one might be divided more, where do you draw the line? Because you're making the decisions on telling it in the system where it should stop computing, right?
There's usually an end problem to solve.
An end
right?
problem to
so
solve.
Like you're usually trying to figure out like some goal, and you'll let it compute however long it needs to, right, until it solves that problem. So, and that's just dictated by your problem size. So, there's problems that take, the world's largest machine right now. I think it's out of Japan. It'll take that, massive machine that has hundreds of thousands of CPU cores, days, months to solve, right, that big problem. Or you can shrink it down, and solve it very quickly. So,
what are possible uses for biotechnology?
Yeah. So, COVID, right? Everyone's super familiar with COVID. So HPC and supercomputing. So HPC stands for high performance computing, and supercomputing. They're kind of, we use them like, we kind of swap out and use both terms. But, during COVID, actually, like genome sequencing, right? So like finding a cure for, or, helping to develop the vaccine for COVID, right? HPC had a massive part in the development of the vaccine and many vaccines in general. Cure for cancer, right? They're doing constant, genome sequencing to, try and develop and come up with new strands of DNA and test that stuff, right? Because you can't do this stuff by hand. So there's one, application, developing new drugs, playing with different, like proteins and stuff like that, and doing everything virtual, right? And seeing what sticks. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Have you solved any problems with what you got going on yet? Are there any like big projects you've taken on and completed?
Yeah, we've worked on a couple projects. So one of them, there's a nonprofit that we're working with whose their goal is to stop human trafficking. So that's a big data problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just gathering of data online, filtering it, doing some machine learning stuff. We've partnered with them, and we've delivered some solutions to speed up and kind of move away from the cloud a little bit to kind of control their hardware ownership a little. And we've accelerated their runtime, I think by 3x.
Whose cloud were they using?
Amazon.
So they're using
AWS.
a big company's cloud. You come in, you're like, look, guys, we can help you run this stuff way faster. And they say, how? And you say, we got a place, right? That's the physical location with the actual supercomputer in it, right? And that's what helps it run faster for the people using your system, right?
Yeah. So, a lot of the world has moved away from like tangible ownership of anything, right? You look at
absolutely.
NFTs.
Intellectual property rights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. So like no one wants to actually own anything. Like no one wants to own a car anymore, right? Everyone wants, a lot of people.
It's an idea. Yeah. Ideas have a lot of value because,
Yeah.
Smart people can realize, the value of an idea,
Mm-hmm. And so, that's absolutely the case with
Shut that.
yeah, go ahead. With, technology and stuff nowadays too people are really trying to, they don't want to own hardware anymore. You see it with like anyone that's familiar with gaming, like the Steam Guard deck, right? Where you don't have to own your there's like a little platform. I think it's called the Steam Deck.
Cameron might know more about this. He's in. Have you seen that? Do you know what he's talking about? Your mic's off, maybe.
A what?
The Steam Deck, right?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a handheld computer, basically.
Yeah, and so the goal, is like you can buy a small thing, right? And like all the heavy computation is done in the cloud.
Okay.
And so, a lot of things are moving that way in general.
So does your company, with your supercomputing database, do you have multiple databases first off the bat, or is it just one right now?
So we have kind of a couple of different methodologies. So we have a product that we call our Cub, which is like a small form factor supercomputer. That's the little model that I brought.
Can I see it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's give a little visual for the audience.
Yeah. Oh. So.
And thanks for the chat, everyone. Sorry if we can't keep up.
Yeah. So this is kind of one of the things that we're working with right now.
Looks like a Lobo from
I'll take the cover off.
UNM.
Yeah, that happened. There's a fun story to kind of how we came up with the name and the
also,
analogy. But
sorry to interrupt. Hunify with 2 O's. Cameron, are you able to pull that up so we can see his company and his tags and stuff? Nice. Hunify.
Yeah, there's our website. Yeah, there's a fun story to the name.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Fun story to the name.
Yeah, so we like I said, right, we're all car guys, right? And so we were sitting at our buddy's shop, down the street. He owns a Subaru mechanic shop.
Which of you has the most amount of cars?
Victor, that's our founder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And how many cars?
He's owned, I think he just said the other day, over his life he's owned 50 cars.
Damn.
So
How many does he have right now?
Right now he's got 3. I think he's got 7.
That's
cool.
I
think he's got
and
3
you?
Subarus. I've got, right now I'm slim. I'm only at 3. So I
that's slim.
I had
That's
8.
funny.
I had 8, but
Jeez.
I just
Woo!
had a baby 2 months ago. So I
A
slimmed
baby
down.
costs 5 cars?
No,
Oh,
but I
okay.
just didn't have time to work on the projects anymore.
Okay.
And then with the company and stuff, I was like, those are just going to sit there for too long. So got rid of some stuff and cleaned out. So
Congrats on the baby.
thank you, man. Thank you.
The first one?
First one. Yeah.
Good luck.
New world. Yeah. New world. So, but yeah, so we were all sitting at the shop and we were trying to coming up with a company name is like, I swear that's the hardest thing, man. People make big money. They get paid to come up with company names. That's hard.
I agree.
So we were all sitting around and I think we had it was like a fold up cafeteria table. We were all sitting around on. We had a big like white, sheet of paper rolled out across. And we were just sitting there writing down names on it and trying to come up with stuff. And like coming up with something unique too is really challenging. You go and Google it, right? And there's
Usually it's taken.
always taken, right?
Mhm.
Or trademarked.
So to come up with an utterance or a series of words or a word that is not existent at all,
Yeah.
I think finding that, if you can find that, it's a great business tactic.
Yeah.
Because then you're the only one that comes up in SEO, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Exactly.
search engine. So was there another Hunify?
No. So
That's
we were
awesome.
lucky. So there's
That's good.
the car people, right, that are listening might know Hoonigan. So
Okay. Yeah.
Ken Block's company. So we were all sitting around and we were like, 3 hours in trying to come up with a name, and we were tired, and we were like, what if we could just, I think it was me that said, what if we could just hoon technology?
Hoon? What? Well, is that a verb?
Yeah, so it's
What does it mean?
It's a word out of Australia. So that's like a car word, right? And
Okay.
and they say to hoon is like, I think we had it on our website for a while, but I think we actually took it down. To hoon something is essentially like deliberate like thrashing, so of like a vehicle.
Oh.
So like, they say like you can actually get a ticket for hooning in Australia. So, like drifting
doing
your car.
donuts. Yeah.
Reckless behavior.
Off-roading.
Yeah. That's
Dukes
hooning.
of Hazzard stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Hooning.
that's hooning, right? And so like, what if we could take that methodology to technology, right, and become disruptive and right, take that like, different approach to technology than other people are taking right now. And so we said, what if we could hoon technologies, and we came up with making that like a verb to like hoonify something, right? So we came up and I Googled hoonify. There's nothing existed.
I think that's very smart.
Yep. And so we immediately grabbed the, website domain name. We grabbed everything possible and tried to grab social media. There's a Korean guy that has every like social media handle. So we're like, trying to gather some of that stuff. But so that's how we came up with the name, and it was like, it stuck. And so it's been interesting hearing people pronounce it for the first time, but
Hoonify?
yeah, that's what we hear a lot. Yeah. Hoonify. So.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, like with the ify, like Spotify, Hoonify. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you say it out loud.
Uh-huh.
Bioscience. I'm going to read it. Hoonify Technologies Incorporated provides personal supercomputing solutions and engineering services for national security applications, critical U.S. government and national lab mission needs, and industries that rely on high-performance computing and data analysis, such as mining, oil, gas, bioscience, and aerospace. I see what you guys are doing. You're hitting every one of these major industries that's funded by either the government or venture capitalists, so to create, you got what to me it looks like the long game in mind.
Yeah.
You definitely want to build a lasting product or service,
Yep. Yeah, that's the goal is we want to be around a long time, and we want to change the way that things are done fundamentally, right? We want to, starting at the beginning, right? Education, right? Teach people this stuff so that they understand it again at the, elementary, middle school, high school level, that they understand how to solve problems with technology. Even everyone's talking about quantum computing, right? What does that even mean? Right. And like, how do we transition from what we're doing now into quantum?
Well,
right?
does quantum computing have to do with quantum physics?
Yes. Yeah. So,
I wouldn't even be able
no,
to.
it's super, like, I think I came up with an analogy the other day. We had an investor that was asking us a little bit about like, how do we plan to get into quantum? And so I came up with an analogy. My founder, Victor, we were talking, it's like a light switch, right? Computers right now are like a light switch. You can 0 or 1, on or off, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how modern computers do work. And then you have lots of zeros and ones, and you put them in a sequence, and that's how you come up with answers. Quantum is there's a middle in the light switch. So it's on, off, or neutral, right? And so now you have like an exponential factor of, computing, because you now, instead of 2, have 3, and then 3 times, a ton becomes very quick.
Okay.
And so the analogy that I came up with is like, it's black and white television versus, black and white, and versus color versus, RGB. So how many different color combinations can you make with RGB, right? And
all of them, right?
Yeah. And so that's kind of where quantum sits. You're stuck with black and white and modern, traditional computing where we're at today. And quantum is like computing in color.
So what does it look like on my end if I'm a business owner and I'd like purchase it? I would be purchasing software, and then I'd be like using it on my computer?
Yeah. So
is that what it would look like?
Yeah, that's one model. We sell our software stack, right? Software as a service model. So, we can put that on hardware that you already have.
And you work with both Apple and
Linux.
Microsoft? Linux
mostly. Yeah.
Linux mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say exclusively Linux, actually, to be true.
Linux is not Microsoft, and that's not Apple.
No, that is not Microsoft or Apple.
So those are the 3 big players. Are there any more?
So in the supercomputing world, in the desktop computing world, it's mostly Windows and Apple.
Okay.
Google tried for a little bit, right, with their Google like Chromebook, but I don't think that was a very successful project. So in the supercomputing world, everything is Linux.
So does this entail ultimately having your own computer line of laptops or handheld devices or tablets to sell to people?
Yeah, we'd love to try and develop our own hardware long term. Right?
Do you think it would be almost necessary at a point?
I think at a point, right? Apple started like as a software company, initially, and they, once they got some rolling, some stuff going, they started to develop the iPhone that we see today. Originally their software was on other devices. So yeah, we would love to go, eventually after we, start to develop our software stack and get it where we really want it and deploy it out in the world, start to custom tailor some hardware to really fit, our software environment specifically and create like a perfect marriage. That's why Apple devices work so good because they control everything, right? They set up the hardware, they make, the software, everything works together perfectly. So
Yeah.
that's where we'd like to go.
Okay.
So
Have you been able to snag any investors or venture capitalists or yet?
almost. So
Almost.
we're in discussions with some right now, that we're talking to. It's been a long journey. We've talked to a lot.
If I were a new business owner and I had no idea how to hit someone up about it, how do you do that?
Yeah, so we've been super lucky, compared to most startups. We have some advisors that have actually been through the whole process. So they've been able to open up some doors for us.
This is not the team of 5?
No, this is separate. Yeah.
Advisors beyond that. Okay.
Yeah, beyond those original 5. And just our networks, having worked at the labs for a long time, we have a good,
Don't
network.
burn bridges. Be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's played out a lot so far.
Give people coffee and stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just generally be nice. And if you leave, right, don't burn bridges. And you can
Yeah.
always call back on those people later.
Sure.
We've pulled on those strings a lot. But,
Okay.
Traditionally, you've got to go to like startup events,
That
incubators.
was my next question. What about like seminars or group
Yeah.
events? Is that a big place to meet a
Yeah.
venture capitalist or an investor?
Absolutely. That's where we've made quite a bit of connections in New Mexico. So, our big news last week was we got accepted to the New Mexico Q Station Space cohort. So that's an area there. It's a startup incubator kind of, right, where they bring in companies that are,
Okay.
they usually pick a focus. So like this one was space, right? So they work a lot with AFRL, which is an advanced research laboratory, Air Force Research Laboratory out of Kirtland. And I think it's all Air Force bases. But they fund this incubator, right, which is essentially in a place where a lot of startup companies go, and then they network and talk investors and stuff like that. We've been involved too with like the New Mexico Angels. So that's a local angel investing group of a lot of ex Sandia people, business owners, people that have sold companies and they invest in new companies. So
And at these events, you gotta market yourself and sell yourself, right? Do you have a table or booth set up?
yeah.
Okay,
So
it's like one of those kind of events.
All
Right on.
I think one of the ones, John, who's our CTO, was at one a few weeks ago where he presented like a 30-second. He had like a 30-second conversation and pitch right in front of everybody, and then we set up a booth and people can come talk based off of if they like your pitch or not. So, yeah,
How did you feel your pitch went at these different events?
It's good. It's taken a while though. Our messaging has taken a long time.
Yeah, it's how do you make the average guy click, like the ape like me, the guy who is not is savvy about technology. You make him. That would probably be the guy you're talking to at these seminars, right? The other business owner, this other company.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Is it depends. Like you might have someone in the room that's been like a supercomputer expert, right? And so if you talk, at a low enough level, right, they're like, I don't get it, right? And so then, then if you talk to the business person and you go too into the technicals, right? So finding the right words to use, especially in like a 60-second pitch, right? So
that's tough.
The technical person understands. It's really challenging. So we've had a lot of iterations of our messaging and what we're talking about, and trying to pick keywords and stuff like that that really people understand. It's a challenge.
How do you find advisors? Like, were those the people from your Sandia network?
Yeah. So that's kind of how it's worked out is the latest advisor that we're working with, Eric. We actually found him from one of the local, community events.
Nice.
That I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But it was a local event, and he heard us, and he's like, "Hey, I would love to help you guys, right? I would love to." And a lot of these people, right, as we've gone on, over the last year, everyone's super helpful. Everyone wants to see people succeed. Like for some reason, before I left, right, I had this idea in my mind that no one was going to be friendly and it was going to be really challenging. But everyone we've talked to wants you to succeed because they've been in your shoes.
And when you put yourself in a think tank or
Mm-hmm.
an environment with hyper successful or competitive people, it's absolutely everyone's in that mind frame to help each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is the element that all people are selfish, right? There is something that they're getting out of it. No one's just helping for free. So,
Yep.
But it's good, transparency, openness. When it's clear who's getting what, it can be a really good thing.
Yeah, and we've taken that one on the chin once or twice too. Right?
Oh, have you had
not having those conversations early enough, right?
Oh, you got it. What do you mean? Would you be able to disclose any of that?
It's just like nothing like specific, I guess, but we've had discussions that it's like, we want to hope that everyone's, kind of on the same page and maybe not talking about numbers up front. And we're like in a different ballpark.
We're talking about payments to
payment,
who gets what.
Yeah,
who's
hourly rates, kind of stuff like that. You want to go just solve the problem.
I would
and you want to
always
figure
discuss
stuff
that up
out
front,
later, right? But in a business world, right, that doesn't make sense. You have to lay a lot of this stuff out and make sure everyone's on the same page, and then you plow forward, right?
Okay.
And so that's taken us a little bit of time to, figure out some of those conversations and stuff. But it's good learning, absolutely. So
hell yeah.
So
right on. Do you want to hit the gong?
Hit the what? Oh, the skong?
The gong.
The gong?
This
I
gong.
thought you had a name for it. All right. Love it.
It's so cool. I'll have you take a fortune cookie. The black ones are
Okay.
Miss Fortune cookies.
Okay.
I didn't know. I apologized to my last guest. It will fuck with your teeth because it's a black cookie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you don't want black teeth, don't eat it. I think it's on brand with the Miss Fortune cookie. You can still open it and read the fortune.
Oh, I got to read the fortune. All right, I got
It's a good cookie.
Is it?
I might even eat it, but like...
Hey, man, I won't ever turn... Dude, that's really dark.
The dye of it, we had no idea the first time.
Yeah, we get some like ASMR now for all the people. All right.
Do you read? Is reading part of your habit throughout the day?
Yeah, I need to be better about it. I love to read, but finding time is challenging. There's so much info out there on like venture capital and investing, and I more read for pleasure. Like sci-fi books, stuff like that, than I do for like business stuff. But I eventually, right, maybe 1 out of every 5 or 10 books I read will be actually something I can learn from. But all right, let's read this out. It says, "This round's on you, just like the joke."
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I guess if we were at a bar, I'd be buying the rounds.
That makes sense. Yeah, you would be buying the rounds.
Yeah.
Do you drink?
I do. Yeah,
okay.
Not as much. I've been I listen to a lot of podcasts. Have you ever listened to Dr. Huberman?
I believe, is he the one with the beard?
Yeah.
With very broad shoulders, very well put together. He's the neuroscientist, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I have listened to a few of his episodes.
Okay. So I've been trying a new thing, the last few weeks a little bit about like fitness and health, and like listen to one of his podcasts on alcohol, and man, it makes you never want to drink again.
Yeah. What was one of those takeaways you had from what he said?
Oh, it's just like, it's a poison, right? And it just literally kills you.
Yeah.
So like slowly over time. So it's kind of brutal to listen to. And so, I listened to that one. And then I think like the next day I listened to another one, really like talked about the optimal fitness routine. And like, I've been trying that out the last month or two. And it's been challenging too. I mean, I don't want to, be drinking a lot too with a newborn around the house, but I love scotch. I'm a big like whiskey person. Love scotch, love bourbon, like a good craft beer. So
nice.
Definitely guilty pleasure.
Hey man, right on. I mean, as long as you're doing it responsibly,
Yeah, absolutely. Always got to be responsible. So.
One of my favorite jokes from Felipe Esparza. He's a stand-up comedian. He would say, "Yeah, I remember crawling over to the liquor cabinet to spend time with my parents."
Yeah,
maybe not a memory for your kids, which is cool.
Yeah, you got to try and be a good role model where you can, right?
Yeah,
everything in moderation too. Like there's
key.
there's absolutely times to enjoy it, and then when you do enjoy it, not feeling bad about it's important too.
Do you think there's applications for your software to analyze behaviors of humans, like a psychological element, like if there was an addict or a drinker, maybe some sort of program to help them kick a habit? Is there something that might help?
Yeah, behavioral analytics is a big field of study, and just finding out the way people work. I think with machine learning, I mean, endless possibilities right there for predicting, and maybe you can take in like a bunch of different factors that are in their life and things that they're doing and try and find a way to if they did this, then maybe they would have a reduced chance of continuing down a path of like addiction or something. But
I wondered, do you have an integration compatibility with other apps?
We haven't got
to
there
collect
yet.
data, because I know one of the things is the phones are listening, and a lot of the social media apps, I notice TikTok the most, like you can set it up how you want it.
Yeah.
Like mine is set up with like motivational videos, health tips, reaction videos. Like I don't get it starts you off with, which is a bunch of bouncing titties and stuff, right? So the phone can figure out what you like. Is there a way to get that data in your software system to link up with these apps, or maybe the phone's microphone to see what people are talking about all day with their permission, of course?
Yeah. No, I don't think that we've gotten there quite yet from from our software stack and the things that we're currently focused on from our markets. We do want to develop some apps and stuff in the future so that you can run like, hey, I want to know this problem real quick. Like you open your app on your phone and you can run it on your supercomputer at home or something, right? Like that, we do want to get to that point to make things, as easy as we possibly can. That's stuff that we're exploring.
So cool.
Yeah, that's the hope. And so, yeah, maybe, if as we learn more about the codes that exist too, there might be things that already solve those problems that we don't know about, right? Or can take in some of this data and launch it across a bunch of machines. But, that's not an area that we're looking at right now, but potentially in the future.
What are these things on the table that you got here?
Oh, yeah, this is I was just going to show just for people, right? I always talking about tech is hard, right?
Looks like one of those smell-proof bags you get at a dispensary.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be very similar. This is just a static bag. But
that is cool.
Yeah, so this is kind of what we're working with to start.
Whoa.
So this is a product, Intel makes this, so it's called an Intel NUC. So this is an entire computer. So CPU, memory, there's a like NVM2 SSD on the back of it. This is what we're networking together right now to solve really complex problems.
This is basically like your computer, right?
Yeah. So this isn't something we developed. This is we call it a COTS product, so commercial off the shelf.
Okay.
That we bought from Intel.
Okay, you got this. Okay.
Yeah.
From Intel.
But the software that we put on this is ours.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Gotcha.
And the way that we package it, so we can put 4 of these together in that little case that I had showed with the switch.
And then you can connect multiple of those cases together.
Yeah, and then you
And
can
just
connect,
keep going,
right, and build as a small one for development or a bigger one, or you can go into a rack, right? Our software works on all 3 environments. So, yeah, this little small form factor computer like has supercomputer capability. 1 gig network, Wi-Fi, USB, HDMI, and you connect these together. It's super powerful. And then the way that you run on these small ones works with the big machines too. So you can compile and run and build your code, whatever it is that you want to run, molecular dynamics, whatever, and build it and test it on the small machines and then immediately launch on the big ones if you want to. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why don't people use those in, like, it's so small and all, like, powerful and all that? How come people don't use those in their home computers?
So this actually is a home computer. So the Intel NUC, they actually make a division that we're using some of their like GPUs So they have a Skull Canyon board, I think it's called. It's got a cool like skull on it for gamers, right? Because it's tough.
Is that kind of like what, laptop?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't take no shit from anyone.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a gaming laptop without a screen, right?
Cool.
That's a really good way to think about it, actually. So yeah, that people are using a lot of these for like home machines. Throw a couple monitors on them, and if you're not like doing gaming or anything, that's actually was the original intent of these boards, and we found a different application for them to run supercomputer codes that no one ever thought people would run supercomputer code right on a Intel NUC, right?
Okay.
So we took a novel use, of hardware and made it into something different. So,
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that was just a good example, right, of like small form factor, low power. So, that we can run big codes on.
So, what is the area that you are most adept in as a company? Is it the national security?
Yeah.
It's
We're
home security,
uh,
business security.
No, like
company.
national security, as in like like the scary stuff. So like explosives, like weapons, stuff like that, right? It's like national security of like military applications, right? And you can kind of draw some ideas from there. So modeling explosives, or modeling like rocket launch, or like something like that, right?
That might be an application for pyrotechnics in Hollywood.
100%. So that's actually an area that
Something you dug into?
we're starting. So
That's awesome.
we
There's
have
a
some
lot of
local
money in
people.
Hollywood.
Yeah. So that's we've heard that a few times now. So that's really interesting.
And I'm wondering about maybe like, because I think of things as like a musician and an
Mhm.
entertainer and live performances, and there could be also like things like stage triggers,
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause there's all kinds of shit that musicians do, like from lighting cars on fires to blowing their air and their steam and drop light shows. So I don't really know.
Yeah, you could potentially model, right? I know they have some modeling software for some like the light shows and stuff like that, but from a pyrotechnics perspective, for like Hollywood, right?
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Like, how do you know? And it's really prevalent too with safety recently with the actor that shot the.
Wasn't there an actor that just got lit on fire
No,
from
no.
a burning building? Jay Leno.
Maybe that.
Did Jay Leno get caught in that fire?
I think that was a car. I think his car caught
Or
on
his
fire.
car?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got caught. The guy you're talking about here, right?
We'll look it up. We're gonna find something here.
That shot.
Yeah,
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
That guy
he
that
shot on set. I can't believe I can't think of the name right now.
Actor shot on set. Who is it?
Yeah, Eric Baldwin. So this brought up a huge just safety concern in general, right, in the Hollywood industry and pyrotechnics industry too. So
what exactly happened? He got trapped in a car?
no, he had like a gun on set, and it accidentally got loaded with a real live round versus like a blank.
Who the?
Yeah, so
That's human error. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
why are live rounds ever on a set?
people don't check. They don't know what's the
Yeah.
difference between a live and a dead round.
Right. I mean, they
there
look the
was
same from the outside.
there was a bad person trying to plan something.
Yep. So.
Nope.
No, wrong.
That's the one I was looking for.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't want to make fun of his death, but
No.
I just
So
did.
he shot. So he's the famous actor. So he shot someone else.
Oh, he
so
killed
he had
someone.
the gun, right, and thought it was a blank round.
That's not the first
pulled
time
the
that's
trigger.
happened in Hollywood
I don't think so.
or
yeah.
even American
Mhm.
cinema.
Yeah.
That's how Bruce Lee died, right? Or no, was he poisoned?
Oh.
So your systems would be able to, predict if that was an issue or something. And
So we could model let's say when they blow up a car on set, right, and there's an actor next to that car, right? We could. Let's see how. Oh, okay.
oh yeah, Bruce Lee died
Oh,
from
man.
from a prescription to a painkiller.
Yeah.
They killed him.
That's
They didn't
rough.
like him. They gave
So-
him something.
Yeah, we could potentially let's say there's an actor, right, that needs to be next to a car that's exploding, right? How do you know how far he needs to be from that car? That's all like guesswork, right?
That really is. That would really only be like how many times some other guy has seen cars blow up.
Right. Like
We've
there's
used about this much gas, and
yeah.
last time it just was a little too loud.
Right, so like a little like I poured for
Okay.
3 seconds. Now I'm gonna pour for 2. So like you can
you're
model.
so many different parameters. You know, how
Yeah.
much gasoline.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So you
okay,
could
okay.
model and say, right, in the Hollywood industry, like, okay, I'm gonna make this explosive. I'm gonna pack some explosive material on the back of something, like, you know, and it should look like this, and I can model it ahead of time, right? Versus just going out and saying, like, I don't know, throw like a pound of gas back there and let's see if that's enough, right? And if not, let's do more. And I think
man.
that 50 feet away is enough.
Can you
but
believe
I
that
don't
worked
know.
for 100 years?
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, it's worked okay, but I mean, there's people that have been hurt, right? So
Can we see how many people have died in I don't know, the last 10 or 20 years from Hollywood pyrotechnics? Or Hollywood accidents? Because we're encompassing everything from gunshots
Yeah.
to fires, and you could maybe apply it to cars, doing car stunts, because you guys like the car stuff, right?
yeah.
From 1980 to 1990, there were 37 deaths related to
Accidents.
accidents during stunts. 24 of those deaths involved use of helicopters.
Oh.
That's an interesting piece of
is
information. And
interesting.
actually, who just was it Kobe Bryant
Kobe.
that died in a helicopter crash?
Yeah.
Are there any applications for helicopter flights?
I think that there's certainly codes that exist, right? That we could run potentially
That's
that
cool.
model, you know, different helicopter components and stress and wear, right? All of that stuff is able to be modeled. Oh man,
Like,
that's a
this is
lot.
all-
That's more than 37.
It's more than 37,
Right,
right?
Rosie Voters.
This is all of them. That was just from 1980 and 1990. This is 1990 to 2000,
Oh man.
2000 to 2001.
Well, what's interesting is some of these horror films that they make about like like houses that are haunted or like the devil or whatever. Like weird stuff starts happening to the directors and the producers and actors after the film starts.
Oh, really?
I can't think of the one that's specific, but it's like one of the directors' planes crashed, and then one of the actors died in like an overdose or something. It's like as they started filming at a haunted location. I don't know. It could be fake, but
Wow, that's wild.
that's
Kick
interesting.
ass. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of applications, right? And then like for example, there's a lot of paths that exist in other industry that just like haven't like met each other. Like the crash you mentioned, like a crash on a movie set, right? There's simulation that's done, like, you know, Ford or HP or, you know, Ford or any other big car manufacturer, Volvo, whatever, right? All have to do modeling and simulation to see how safe their cars are.
But they run the actual tests with the cars, right? That's
They do.
expensive.
Yeah, so they do a lot of modeling ahead of time.
Oh,
right, to
they do it
guess-
on the computer. Okay.
Yeah, to guess, because that's the benefit, right? You don't
Sure,
actually
yeah.
have to slam a Lamborghini, right? I mean,
God
they'll have to
dang.
do it once, right? They always have to do a physical one, but do I really want to smash a Lamborghini 15 times
Heck
into
no,
a wall
man.
to like, oh, well, that crossbar should have been a little bit more sturdy, you know? So you can replicate a lot of this stuff in the digital.
So I'm pretending I'm a guy who has a car company. I would say like, well, how many times do I have to run this computer test before we're sure that we're going to get the result we want?
Yeah, it depends on if you've done it before or not. So
What, the test
yeah,
in real life?
That usually dictates things. So there's a lot of what we call like verification and validation. So like a computer model is only good at predicting something, but you don't know how good it is at predicting something until you do the actual thing, right? So like if I crash a car right into a wall, right, I can do that simulation in the digital, right, on a supercomputer, but I don't know if that's going to be right until I model it. And if I model it and it is the same and it does work, then that means that my next model should probably be right.
Dude, you sell people zodiac fortunes on their next 10 years.
Yeah.
You fucking
Like
you
the
can
old 20 questions, like little cube
Yeah, bro.
thing.
Get some
Yeah.
data on people's past lives, and you get the average Joe to buy into a maybe a simpler version. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Maybe we can get the crypto bros involved and like predict the next big crypto coin?
That'd be so crazy. Do you work with futures and stuff like that?
No.
No?
I've done a little bit of like crypto trading and stuff like that, but
Okay.
I don't do much stock trading and investing. But
So
Super
what's
interesting, though.
what's the next big position for your guys' company? Is it finishing a project you're currently on? Are you needing more capital from venture capitalists?
Yeah.
Do you need more team members to get the juices flowing?
Yes.
What is
all
it?
of it.
All
So,
of it.
All of it. So I mean, we have some big projects and deadlines for software that we got to get done by March, and so hopefully we'll have some big news here in the next month that we can share. And then, we need some investment, some capital, right, to hire people, really make this as big as we want to make it. We think it's the 5 of us. It's a really well-rounded team. We have 2 technical guys, a mechanical engineer, a cybersecurity person is our CEO, and then we have a business person as our CTO. So we have a really well-rounded team, but we need more like software developers at the end of the day. So yeah, we definitely would love some capital to get some more people, really like ramp up the project, right? Get it going and really start spreading where we need to, because we're running pretty thin right now with.
How could you
just 5 of us.
incentivize? I'm not trying to speculate. I'm just like, how could you get more people on your team?
Man, that's a good question.
Is that a bottleneck point, kind of where you at? Is what you're getting at?
I think we haven't really looked yet to be bringing
okay.
people in yet. I don't think we're quite at the point until we could incentivize. I think we have some people like offering help if needed, but we could start offering stock, right, and ownership of company, right, to get people brought over and not doing like a salary, right, or like a revenue, like a salesperson. You might be able to give them like a little bit of a sale or something, in addition to stock. But that'd be pretty tough, right, to try and bring someone over only giving. They have to really believe.
But that's the winning point is if you find someone who's willing to put their time into it to help, then they really do believe in the project, and
absolutely.
I think that's a winning team member
for
sure.
Yeah, and so I think we'd love to have those people, right, and look for those people, but we're also on a hold to our chest as much of the company, as we can for now.
That is also a piece of advice that one of my friends, he's the hell is he? He's what do you call it? An accountant?
Okay.
CPA, yeah, for like nonprofits, big companies, running like 3 $1 million grants from the federal government and organizing.
Yeah.
So he's like got millions of dollars running through this company he's accounting for, and one of his pieces of advice was absolutely hold on to as much as you don't want to just be giving shares, you don't want to be giving intellectual property rights. Pay off who you can, keep the employees down, and use independent contractors with 1099A forms if you can. Because employees can be a pain in the ass, when they're expecting, regular pays and benefits. And then, but yeah, getting independent contractors, keeping as many shares in your company. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
Because when I was forming this delaostudios LLC, really it's just me and my brother and Cameron in the back.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, it's a hard balance though too, right? Like if this is what you're putting, you're staking your, life and career on. Like you don't want to hold it so tight to the chest too that you don't become successful.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So like okay, give a 0.5% to the person that helps you design your website if you don't have the capital to do that kind of stuff, right? Like there's times where it's appropriate and there's times to be careful. Like finding that balance is a challenge, right? I mean,
which one of the 5 of y'all brings up the hard discussion points?
Ooh.
Because my brother and the way he just like we'll just go straight for the sore spot. Yeah. Do you guys have a one of you on your team that's like that?
I feel like I can get there, right? To like bring up like, all right, no one's getting along, right? This isn't working right. This is stuff we need to do.
You guys are getting too fat. Start exercising.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. They're all skinny. I'm the big guy on the team, man. They're all like race car drivers, so they're all tiny. So, no, me and John, we call him like the linebacker. That's where the linebackers. So they're all the quarterbacks. But yeah, our CEO is really good at like managing. He was a manager at Sandia. Okay. So he dealt with like a lot of people problems and stuff, and like handling personal conflict. So he's super good at like, all right, like I see you're not getting along well, and like there's a conflict here. Let's figure it out. So so he's super good at resolving conflict and figuring things out. But
awesome, that's good.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there anything else you'd want to like explain in a simple way to me? Like if I were a venture capitalist, you can pretend like, what's your sales pitch? Right now to me.
Yeah, for sure. So
I'm not saying I have $1 million, but if I did,
oh man, you never know. So
no, I swear I did. I wouldn't be living in this
you
house.
didn't
if
buy
I,
Bitcoin like 25 years ago.
I had one, I did, and then I
Yeah.
sold it for I bought it at 800 and sold it for when I thought it was gonna go down lower. And
Yeah.
it was one of the dumbest
I think-
decisions. I should have just held.
I think everyone did that.
Mhm.
So I did that. Everyone did that at some point. It's like, man, I got $50 and now
Yeah.
I made 100. So, yeah, I mean, really, our pitch, right, is democratizing HPC, right, bringing supercomputing capability to anybody and everybody, in a all-in-one solution that isn't currently done in the market today. So, I guess continuing to explain that, right, we really want to get this in the education and university areas and STEM fields to get people understanding how to use this technology at a young age, right? We're
Okay.
missing that spark, right? And we laugh, in a less PG way, right? Like making supercomputing sexy again. Like supercomputing in
No,
the
that's
80s.
a really good way to describe it. Yeah.
Supercomputing, like for the tech people, right? Like SGI or like the old craze, like people put posters of these things up on their walls. They wanted them, right? As like a high schooler, like,
Right.
I want to buy a Cray.
In the same way that kids want to buy like an iPhone now, right?
Yeah. People don't
Well,
want that.
what
for
are kids into these days? I know they're into making videos and playing video games and
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah, video games, streaming, right?
Streaming.
Like a lot of that.
a lot of the socialization has changed.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and so that's something I've been thinking a little bit about how we can bring this into that market, because I feel like that would be something that would really ignite like a younger person's mind, right? Like if I could buy this thing, this supercomputer to make me, better at gaming, my stream better, right? If I could have better frames, like how can we bring this kind of capability into there and really resonate with.
That's tough.
It is tough. I haven't found out an answer yet.
Well,
for
I
that.
mean, I worked with kids for like 3-4 years.
Okay.
I worked with a chess company going around doing before and after school chess programs. So
Oh,
keeping
sweet.
kids engaged was definitely part of it.
Mhm.
They were elementary school. And then I've also worked with middle school and high school students abroad
Mhm.
in China. So
okay.
yeah, keeping kids engaged is making it something valuable to them. Here's one thing that the Americans liked was this gong. One of my boss's techniques was he's like, all right, we're going to let them warm up for chess as they come in the club. After
Okay.
5 minutes, when they're all here, they're all going to be quiet for mindfulness for like 2 minutes. They sit and they meditate, and all the other chess teachers would just have a phone and they would start a timer. And I was like, these kids aren't paying attention to that as interested. And as soon as I had the idea, let's let them hit something. I was
Yeah.
like, I got a gong. I was like, who wants to hit the gong?
Uh-huh.
Me. I want to hit the gong. I want it. And then I was like, all right, whoever can sit still and be the most quiet gets to hit the gong. And now all of a sudden the kids are trying harder. They're
Right.
incentivized just to hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing for the Chinese students in high school, we're talking older students, was they were extremely receptive to fake money. They
Really?
weren't really, they were, shy and awkward trying
Uh-huh.
to, it was like almost like, really encouraging them to talk in English. But as soon as I got fake American money, black and white laminated money, and they were able to bet and trade the money, they were extremely interested in communicating and getting the tasks done. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think. How
Yeah.
could you get kids interested?
So we just got to make supercomputing interactive somehow, right? Like how can we? Because it's not, right? Like there's supercomputing's not very interactive. Like
So
you sit at
there's got to be a
keyboard.
trading aspect.
Yeah, something like maybe we can even like if they do something right in real time, like we can model that too, or like what if they, I don't know, like threw an apple at a wall, right, or something. Like they could throw an apple and we can model what that looks like. Like okay, you threw it. Now like what if that wall was a little harder or something, right? Like there's a spike on the wall. I don't know. Got to make it interactive somehow, right? That's the lesson there, because technology's not.
What about with AI?
Getting kids involved with AI projects.
Well, like
and-
supercomputing and AI, is that like a thing? Because there's a streamer I watch and he uses AI in his stream,
Mhm.
but he uses two 4090s. The TI's the graphic card.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Is there like a way that those two go together?
Yeah. There's a ton of interactions there. I've kind of been trying to decide. Like, I think that there's some potential breakthrough, like in streaming. Right, these guys have like, these guys and girls that stream have tons of money, right, for equipment. Like you said, 24090s. That's a solid, right, $5,000 worth of hardware right now.
He runs
if you can find them.
3 PCs, one to stream, one to play games, and then one with the 24090s to run the AI.
God
Um,
dang, dude.
What streamer is this?
Yeah, it's this guy Quinn.
Let's
69.
bring up his profile to look at. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
He's
This,
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
familiar with like I
Call
know,
it-
like I watched
He's
Dr.
probably- it's
Lupo a
probably
little
on his
bit
stream
and some
right
of his
now.
stuff, and he does something similar.
He streams all day.
wow. Oh, have I seen this guy? This is crazy. Are we allowed to watch Twitch while streaming on Twitch?
We
Yeah.
can watch a little bit of it. We watch. So in the left here, there's gonna be.
Holy cow! Yeah, he's got a whole. So his AI, what's it doing? Is it chatting with the chat? Is it making background
So,
music?
Watch.
Is it
Right
creating
now,
animations?
You can go in here,
Uh-huh.
and he has text to image. So that's the AI that's running.
Text to
So
image.
You can type any text in here. Well, if I was logged in,
Uh-huh.
I can type any text I want, like long, formulated, descriptive text,
Gotcha.
and it'll bring up a picture on the screen over here of that text. And then the AI generated that picture through the text.
Oh, I've seen some of this stuff. Yeah, like the machine learning generated like
Yeah,
graphics
so
and stuff.
the thing about the hitting the gong was it was interactive. They only wanted to hit it because the other kids wanted to hit it.
Yeah.
The money thing was a trading, networking kind of thing. And again, what I'm picking up here is people are able to interact with these live streams. There's
Yeah.
an incentive to be there together at the moment.
Mhm.
And yeah,
And
that's
it learns
Right.
too as it goes. Because at first, when he first got it, it was when they would put in like they're perverts, so they'll put in like busty girl with like
okay.
some descriptive thing. It was just like a blob of flesh. It wasn't anything at all. Like it was really weird. But now
That's
it's
gnarly.
very accurate and very realistic, and it's creepy as shit.
Yeah, these things learn over time. So yes, right. And his stream, for example, right, he's using 2 graphics cards. They're probably running together, running 2 to compute something at the same time.
Let me find an old video of it so you can
Okay.
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, so we could probably
Yeah, we'll get off
add
this page.
another desktop for him, right? And then he can run on 4, right, or 8 or 12. We can continue to scale that out, right? With the way that we solve problems. So those are 2 GPUs on a single motherboard, right? We can do 4 GPUs on 2 different motherboards or something, for example. So yeah, there's applications there, but again, right, trying to find a way to make it tangible and like interactive.
Yeah, I'm
is
not gonna
really
lie.
challenging.
This is definitely a challenging interview for me too, because a lot of the concepts are right over my head, man.
Yeah, well, that's why I really was like super excited to join. Because like I need
Yeah.
better practice. I'm around people that like, I talk with technical people. I need to be so much better, right, about relating this and
Well,
talking with people.
I might try and crack some more jokes too, because again, with that ex-wife thing, it gave you an actual like life,
Yeah.
an event where you could be using something
Mhm.
like what you're already working with, which is like facial recognition stuff.
Mhm.
Like you said, you're already working with an Albuquerque company and facial recognition software, right?
We're not working with them
Oh.
yet, but that's a separate
No.
project
Oh,
that's
you're-
going on in Albuquerque.
Oh, it's a separate
that's
project.
related. But I mean, we probably should talk to them and see
Have
if
you
we can
reached
get
out?
involved. I don't think we've reached out to them yet.
Do you ever cold call or just randomly hit up a resource manager from another company?
No,
You gotta try it, bro.
Yeah, we haven't tried. We haven't gotten there yet. We've cold applied to like some VCs,
Mm-hmm.
but most of our interactions with people that we've been talking to are through like soft introductions from our network essentially of people.
Dude, I think if you started like getting aggressive about it, you'd start meeting people, team members and investors and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to give
I
that
almost
a shot.
I almost booked a really big guest for the podcast. I was going to go to Texas for a week, but there's just some complications, things didn't line up.
Yeah, you
but
never
it's
know
just-
until you try it. Right?
But yeah, I was like watching his stuff on YouTube, and I just sent him an Instagram DM saying, "Hey, we love you." He made me feel good, and he responded, "Hey, thanks for the love. If you want to send some money, here it is." And I was like, "Okay, well, what would you charge to be on my podcast?" And he threw out a number, and we played with the idea, but it didn't work out,
Yeah.
And it was just, I think, more of an organic interaction.
Yeah.
And I've reached out to a lot of bigger creators on their lives and stuff, just
Mhm.
like complimenting their actual thing. And people are, like you said, they're a lot nicer and more responsive than we give them credit for.
Yeah. Everyone's been there, right? Like
Yeah.
starting their first podcast, getting things going, starting their first company, right? And I think a lot of them, right, especially if they're hyper successful, reminisce a little bit about where they used to be and the things that they used to do. And they, seeing them that that, their old selves, and they want to help them succeed, right? And they had someone, a lot of times, right, those people had someone there to give them a hand too, especially these, like self-made people, right? They're self-made, but there's oftentimes somebody that held out a hand and gave them that initial opportunity, right, to launch them into, some hyper successful career. Time and time again, right, you continuously hear that someone had help. So,
well,
wanna
humans,
give that
that's
out.
what we do,
Yeah.
where that's how we work
Usually.
best it's building off of each other's accomplishments. And it's like if as a guitar player, if I had to go reinvent the actual guitar, there'd be no way. There'd be no way I could go get the materials and fashion them and secure it properly with the right tension and blah blah blah.
No.
So I have to build off of other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, groups are groups are the best, right? That's why, I really like that. What's unique with us too is we've left with 5 people, right? That's kind of rare from what we've heard with other people that we've talked to. Is a lot of times you'll see one person leave for a startup or 2. Having 5 has been kind of nice, right? We've been able to kind of split and just that group dynamic, right? I don't know accounting, right? I can't. You know how long it'd take me to like go through a spreadsheet and try and figure out like, the funding round numbers that we're looking for, like how many people to hire. Like, oh man, I can't do that stuff. That'd take me like 20 hours, right? And then we got a guy that can do that in 2.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, it's
getting your team set.
Yeah, it's huge, right?
So, what specification of team member would you be looking for?
I think we're really looking for like a software developer. Probably that would probably be our first hire, like somebody that really understands Linux. Yeah, and wants to help us build, right, this amazing, graphical user interface, like application on the phone, right? Everything that makes it so that, somebody who doesn't understand Linux can use Linux in the way that we do through supercomputing. That would probably be one of the first people that we're looking to hire, and somebody that's passionate about, bringing, supercomputing to the masses and really sees the vision. So, yeah.
I'll make it short. I'll put it on all the
Yeah.
social medias. Yeah,
There we go.
he's going to give away a free dog for the first year.
Free dog.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
I don't know. You're giving away the
Oh,
dog.
I'm giving away
You're
the dog?
I'm not giving
You're
away
not going to give away the dog for me?
No, bro.
Oh, man. I don't know. I like your German Shepherd. I'll go with the German Shepherd.
Actually, that we might be able to do that because I'm going to breed her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be in about a year, but
Okay.
shit, I'll make it. I'll make that.
There we go.
idea, man.
See? We'll just keep the communications going. So,
There's maybe a German Shepherd for someone out there who likes Linux.
a future
We'll set it
Hudify employee set up with your dog. I like it.
Simmer Sauce, my saxophone player. I'm an employee. I'm a total pain in the ass. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's what what we were talking back about employees versus independent contractors.
Yeah.
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 He's not just an employee. He's a motherfucking G.
Wow, we can't talk about metaverse. That's a crazy one.
No, yeah. No, if anything, you would let, do like a Minecraft thing, an interactive thing where kids can build and vie for different, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know the first part of trying to use your piece of software. I'm just trying to use my imagination.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, right? That's our challenge, right? Is trying to figure out how, people that don't normally use this technology, because you're using it every day, you just don't know that you are.
I'm wondering, is there a way that you could use it to, let's say, I wanted my light show to be different every time, but I wanted certain things to be triggered to, the frequencies of the music. Let's say, my music's going to change every set. Like, I'm a live performer, and the song's not going to be exactly the same every time.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that you'd be able to connect the lights to pick up on the sound frequencies in real time?
I see what you're getting at. That would probably not be something that needs parallel computers to solve, right? I think that could probably be developed right on an application and some sensor data for picking up frequency and stuff like that, and developed in an application that would probably run on a laptop or something. So the scale of things that were maybe problems that we're thinking of, from a supercomputing perspective would be if I wanted to do that on the entire state of New Mexico, and using like all of the lights that are in New Mexico to like just I don't know, brainstorming here, like do some frequency to like, or like traffic patterns in New Mexico, right? And like taking that data in with the cars, right, and how they're moving, and like adding weather on top of it, and like you have all these extra variables, and then it gets really complicated.
I think we need to be thinking bigger.
Yeah,
bigger
so like
than
think even bigger than that, and like those are the kind of problems that we're
this out.
Probably solving.
I'm gonna give you a problem.
Okay.
All right, and if you can find a solution to it,
Yeah.
and you can make this happen in the real world, this is gonna make me like so happy. All right, so you know how Route 66, it was built once in the past.
Yeah.
It was a cool thing. People visited it. They drove through it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal.
Yeah,
It's a piece of shit now.
it is. It's terrible.
Have you heard of solar roadways?
I think I've seen a video on them.
They're not new. They're in the shape of a hexagon. Can we bring it up? Solar. I think they're called solar roadways. I don't know what the problem is. I think maybe they're a little too expensive, or maybe they can't logistically make it work. But if you could use a supercomputer to make everybody happy, get the funding for those people, get it from the government so that the laws match up to where they can get everything. And I know weather's a big part of this thing too. If you could get solar roadways, at least maybe not for the entirety of New Mexico, but through Albuquerque, this would create so much tourism for Albuquerque. It could be a game changer because these do so many functions. They change lights, right? So in the weather, they can heat up if it's icy. They can melt them. They also have, you can change the patterns of the lights to make it like graphics if you're having a festival. So they pick up solar energy and distribute energy to the power grid. So, I mean, that might be a logistic problem, like who gets how much, where is it stored?
Yep.
Like, how can it make an incentive? Maybe you could sell property rights to the buildings that are in proximity to the road so they get free energy to incentivize them. I don't know. That's a big-ass fucking problem. But in my head, I had this imagination, if the new century Route 66, big-ass solar roadway, all the way where it used to be. People will drive through it.
Oh, for sure.
You could throw festivals on it.
Yeah.
It would be safe. It could power the city.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Right?
That's a big problem.
Power
right?
in New Mexico.
Is that the kind of problem you guys are looking for?
We can
problems?
certainly like solve. There's a lot of pieces of it that are
right.
that are certainly solvable by like supercomputers. So you mentioned like power flow, power grid, circuitry, stuff like that is all right. There's a lot of supercomputer applications for it. Even maybe stuff like, road design vibration testing, right? Like on the specific hills or grades. Cause I mean, Route 66 up here is on a pretty decent slope, so some of those like vibration testings, we could probably model stuff like that. So definitely individual components of it and I guarantee that there was some supercomputer, development that was done to develop those tiles.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah. There's so much that goes into those. Yeah.
Modeling and simulation done. So, yeah, I mean, it's super interesting. I mean, I drove on the way here. It was like through a snowstorm. Roads were sketchy. Like if I had nice warm roads to drive on, that'd be nice. So
we're hurting for some infrastructure in this country, man. Some transportation infrastructure. We could benefit from new metros going all across the country or new highways.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing happening now with just recently they announced that there's potentially like $100 million in funding coming to the state of New Mexico for VC capital fundraising. And I think the idea behind it was based off like this old research paper that was done that if we brought more infrastructure into the middle of the country, right, instead of on the edges, right, everything else would improve. Because
do you mean like the middle, like as if there was a big line going across the country, or the middle like a bullseye in the center?
like a middle, like is a line,
okay.
right? So if we develop more infrastructure in like, New Mexico, Colorado, like North Dakota, South Dakota,
right, going all the way
in
up
the middle where there's no people right now, if we put more money in there and spread away from the coasts, right, then everything would improve, right? Our roads would potentially improve, our infrastructure would improve because you have these like big dense areas with all this money, right? Like California, like has pretty good roads, right? You got to like rural Edgewood here and our roads are awful, right? Because there's no people. So if you start to like bring money and like tech into like Austin, it's happening a little bit now. There's quite a bit of like, investment dollars there. So if we bring some of this money to like the center of the country, then, maybe we can start to like fill out the population there. And then as a result, like infrastructure would increase, or improve, more jobs, more money, just everything would improve in general.
It's crazy.
So they're starting to play with that a little bit in New Mexico. So
she says, how's the heating going to be solved? I don't know what she's asking.
Oh, like the heating of like of a machine, or like probably the cooling.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. There's a lot of different ways. That's a whole nother area of study, is like cooling something like
of your
this.
actual computer.
Yeah, maybe not like these small ones, but like when you get really big.
Stick it in a cold place.
Yeah, that's
Is that a technique people are using? Putting it up north?
Yeah, so I think some of the most efficient like Bitcoin farms are up in like Greenland.
Damn.
And they're just doing like passive cooling from cold air. Or they're using like geothermal a lot of places, so they'll like get power from geothermal, like I don't know exactly how that all works, but they'll pull power for geothermal, from the earth, and then essentially they can use that power to then cool, right? Big server blades, stuff like that. The newest one actually is immersion. So they're doing some pretty fun stuff with like dipping technology like this into like a fluid, and then they're cooling the fluid. And so it feels
That's
really
cool.
weird. We were just at a data center where they had some
Really?
blades in this. It's like an oil, like vegetable oil almost.
That's so weird. So it doesn't mess with the tech.
No,
there.
it's
not like water.
non-conductive.
Because if you were to dip it in water, it would ruin it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like a non-conductive oil. And so then you cool that oil, because air is actually like a really bad, right, cooling medium. So that's why we've gone to like liquid cooled, CPUs and stuff like that. But
Where is your supercomputer database, or is that a secret?
so we
Is it
don't
a secret bat
currently
cave?
we don't currently have an actual data center.
Okay.
We're working to partner with some data centers to put some tech in there. Some local, potentially some other places. But right now, all of our tech that we have is like in our founder's house up in
Okay.
East Mountains, in his like office. So there's some stuff that's accessible from there, and that's where we have everything for now. Is just the small form factor stuff. But we're looking to grow into the data center space. So we're working on that partnership now.
Now, to get into a data center, is it already kind of an infrastructure you need that someone to have that you kind of integrate into? Or is it something that you could build from the ground up? Like if you're like, let's just get some land and a business loan.
We're not really interested in building it ourselves. There's other companies that are solely focused on that,
Gotcha.
and honestly can do that better than we probably
Better,
could.
quicker, for sure.
Absolutely. And they already have the context. So we're like the people that like we're familiar with the rack and everything in the rack in a room.
Mhm.
The second you get outside of that rack, we're, like from power, cooling, capability. We're knowledgeable there, but we're not experts there.
Gotcha.
And we don't really want to be experts there. We'd rather partner with other people.
That's good. That's
understand
humbling,
that.
playing
Yeah.
into your strengths.
Yeah. That's other people are way better at that stuff than we are, for sure. So
Are we at about that 1 hour mark? What's up?
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
We're at 120.
Let's take a small break. We'll come back and watch some reaction videos
sweet.
for some comedic relief.
I like
Who
it.
knows? Maybe we'll have some ideas.
Sweet.
Sorry, I hope I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
No, man. I appreciate all this.
What's
So,
the absolute best prize you can give to new programmers who join on your team?
the best prize?
Yeah.
Man.
3 dogs?
See, we're like I think we're going to give them a car. Right?
But you guys are car guys,
See,
so
yeah.
you might actually have if one of them one of you guys has 8 cars and you
Uh-huh.
got 3. There's probably 30 cars amongst the 5 of you.
I think we're getting close. We're in the 20s range between the 5 of us. So
If
yeah,
you're-
I think we're gonna make everyone we got 2 guys that have like a clapped out
okay.
like Subaru Outback. So I think
I
we're
have a
gonna give
Subaru Outback, but it's
Yeah.
not clapped out.
No, yours was nice.
Oh, thanks,
This
man.
is like an old 2000.
Dude, my
like
battery died earlier. I don't know why. I thought
that's nuts.
I just might have. I don't know.
It's cold day, right? Like
I was up.
sometimes it
I
just
was up by the
happens.
mountain. You know.
Yeah, that happens.
I might just need a new one.
Yeah, it happens.
But you have a clapped out Outback.
Like Outback. That's like
What
I
does
think
that
it's a
mean?
requirement.
Do you guys have an Instagram of your cars?
I don't know.
So
If
do
you look up Victor Kuhns on Google, like rally, Victor Kuhns, Kuhns.
How do you spell it?
Kuhns.
Yeah, so for any of you new programmers out there, anywhere in the world familiar
Yeah.
with Linux who want to jump in and on an opportunity.
This is our founder. Yeah, I don't know that he has an Instagram, but
Oh,
there's his garage.
is it the old guy or the young guy?
The young guy. There's an older guy, Victor Coons. He's like in the military. So
I was gonna be like that.
Yeah.
That guy is in the software.
So he does. He raced Pikes Peak.
That's cool.
So yeah, but
Do you have an Instagram with your cars on it?
I don't. I don't have a big social media
No.
presence.
Does your company have
We're
a social media?
we're starting
presence?
to. Well, so we're trying to grab all the handles.
That's how you make it sexy, dude.
That's what we're trying to do.
You get some good lighting and you show off the computer with some cool lights and some
Yeah.
fog.
This is where maybe I
Maybe make it funny with
I'd
some
love
guy
some help with some of that
extinguished.
stuff.
Yeah, dude, I would love to test some stuff out. I'd do it for free,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, like we want to like get the case. I think we're like, so we took just fun stuff. We took one of our machines up to a hill climb that we went to, and we were running it out of the back of the rally car as we went uphill, just because, just for fun, and like
Running one of your machines out of the back of the rally car.
yeah, doing like computational models in the
That could be
car
a
while
cool
we're
Like-
going up the hill. What's that?
That could be a cool commercial.
Like powering the computer with the car. Is that what
Yeah,
I'm getting? Like
yeah.
using the car battery to turn it on.
Yeah, and then run code
Yeah.
while we're driving.
That's how you make it sexy.
Yeah.
Film that.
Right. That's what we're thinking of, like, doing donuts around it. I think we're gonna try and book.
I'll
the
put you
track
in
soon.
contact with the guy who does. I'll put him in contact with Casey Weston. So Sansi
Okay.
saying he does a lot of filmography. He's a
Okay.
huge car guy.
Yeah.
He's got huge social media followings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we're trying to make it sexy, right? Is just
You drum up some deals with him. I'll let you, that be.
yeah.
Okay, you could. Woo, yeah.
Dude, I love how it's just so nonchalant.
I
like,
don't know
like
how
why
that's allowed on Instagram. It's getting worse. I just titled it, but my question to you is going to be, before I showed you that video, is on a scale of I need to speak to your manager to your mom was great last night. How PC are you?
Oh, I'm all good with however rated R we want to go. That's fine.
Okay,
So,
cool. If there's anything you
I
want
don't
edited
mind.
out.
Yeah, we can always do that later. But
My
yeah, let's
question
go
is-
there for fun.
What's his incentive? Why is he doing that?
I think the funniest thing here is like it's just not like it's so everything is drawn away from the fact that there's like a on his head, right? Like we're like you're looking at the mustache, right?
You
Like
think
trying
the
to figure out-
mustache is drawing away from the on the head?
That's what they're trying to do, I think, right? I think that they're trying to pull like what are they doing with the mustache, right?
Yeah,
like-
all right, I see what you're saying with the video of it. They're definitely
yeah.
and he
The
gives a wink.
comb. Yeah, and then the wink.
It's
right?
really too good of makeup.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's pretty up.
It is.
I
like it.
mean, it looks like it took hours to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably spent. I mean, that's probably expensive too, right? It's a lot of makeup. They should probably spend a decent amount of time and money.
It's got to be a part to a movie or something.
You think so? What movie? I want to.
You think someone would do that just to do it?
Yeah, for social media.
Yeah,
How many
that
likes
was the
does it
movie.
have, right?
How many likes does it have? What are we looking at? How many people like it?
57,000.
57. Oh, I was wondering if this was bad luck or good luck.
I'm gonna guess.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe
What?
it's bad luck.
You're gonna think it's bad
I
luck?
think it's bad luck.
This is
I
a
saw
bear.
it.
When a bear kills a moose during your wedding.
Dude, I saw this video.
You saw this?
Yeah, I saw this on TikTok.
So my question is you have a kid? Are you married?
Yeah.
Did you have a wedding in the forest like this?
We were up in East Mountains, so it was a little wooded, not quite a forest like that, but
No crazy shit like this happened at your wedding.
we had a deer walk across the pond right behind where we were getting
Oh,
married.
dude, that's
which was
good
cool.
luck. That's good
good
luck.
luck. This, man, I don't know. See, like me personally, like I'm a big outdoorsman.
I
so,
feel like this ain't gonna work out.
I would be stoked, right? I'd be like,
Would
this
you?
is good. Yeah,
That's
this
good
is
luck?
cool, man. I would love to see something like that in the wild. Are you kidding me?
Do you think? What do you
Especially
think that
from on the other
symbolizes for their wedding?
I don't know, man. Good love. I don't know. Aggressive behavior. Exactly.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know. I mean, you can take it both ways, right? Like, I would take it good. Like, I would be stoked to see that in the wild, right? To actually witness something like that.
But they got it on film too.
I know.
When a bear kills
Dude, I
a
would-
moose during your wedding.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Those are like two animals that, like, of all the animals that are out there in the wild that you can encounter, those are like the two I'm most nervous about.
A
like,
moose and a
like
bear.
a grizzly bear,
Because they could both fuck you
a
up in their own
moose,
right, right?
and then like cats, like big cats.
Oh, man.
Dude, they
Do you
scare
hunt? Are you a
Yeah.
hunter?
Yeah,
Wow.
they scare me. Big cats, like you don't know they're there. Like you'll just be sitting there and they'll be looking at you. They're so quiet, and they'll want to kill you. If you see a cat, it's because they know they let you see them. And grizzly bears are just absolutely terrifying. Like, but luckily we don't have grizzlies here. But like Montana, Idaho, scary stuff.
I wonder if we still have that the tables have turned video where the dude's chasing the bear. Because there's that older video where the dude's on his bike, right? And the bear's chasing him.
Yeah. Like I think there's one snowboarding too. There's some dude like snowboarding down a mountain and he's getting chased by a bear.
Let's see if this works. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bear! Bear!
He's so nonchalant.
Yeah!
That would definitely not be my reaction. Seeing right here, I'd be pooping my pants, man.
Oh, it's a bear!
He's chasing that bear. I think the bear was scared of him.
Yeah,
But you know-
100%.
If it's a young bear, is that the age where a mama bear might still be around a cub?
It would look pretty big for a
It was a
cub.
pretty big
yeah, it
bear?
looked pretty big for a cub. For it to be a cub.
What's
But-
the craziest interaction you've ever had with a wild animal?
I was up in North Achama. I was doing a scout for a bear hunt, and I was sitting on this little water hole, and we were looking to see if a bear would come and get some water at night because it was like a hot day.
That great idea.
Yeah, and so that was with the buddy. That was his idea, not mine. I wouldn't have thought of that. And so we were sitting there, and just like all of a sudden, I like see some elk up on a hill, and I see him like kind of feeding down, right? And I'm like, oh, we're gonna see some elk. And like all of a sudden, man, just elk start popping up all around me. I like look to my right, and I'm like sitting there being real quiet. And I like see there's an elk down to my right, and then there's like all of a sudden there's another like elk, and just like watching the whole dynamic play out of like the whole herd roll into an area, and you have like, you know, the young ones come in first because they like almost sacrifice.
There's
them,
a whole
right?
herd of elk?
Yeah, there's probably 30 elk in that little valley when we were in there. And so I was maybe 20 yards from one, and maybe 50, 60 yards from like another 20. And so just watching their dynamic of like how they function, right, was just super wild. Like you have the younger, you know, bulls come out first, right? They're like 2-year-old bulls. They'll walk out first. Then you have like a little bigger bull will walk out after, right, to like test to see if anything's around. And then we kept hearing like this bigger bull like in the back bugling a little bit and making noise, and all of a sudden we spook him, and when we're leaving because we had to go hike back to camp, and all of a sudden this guy is just like totally hidden. Every other elk in that herd is out, and then this one massive giant bull walks out, and he just presents and looks at us, and you know that he's smart.
Do you think that was what do you call the lion, the head haunch?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you call that?
I don't know what you call that
The
for
fucking
elk.
king?
The alpha.
The
right?
alpha. Yeah, there we go.
He was
There's
the
it.
alpha for sure.
How
And
could
it
I
was just
forget?
so cool to watch the dynamic of like, you could tell this guy was smart, you know? So he'd been around a long time and was like just waiting for everyone else to go get water first. And he'd go get water when it was really dark and he really needed it. But if someone was around, they'd kill one of the other elk first before they killed him. So
Yeah.
wild animals
Oh,
are
I
crazy.
see.
Yeah. That's probably my coolest like outdoors experience.
Damn.
Was just watching that whole thing unfold and really understanding that. So
It's beautiful.
mm-hmm.
Did you have any guns? Were you weren't hunting?
no,
were you?
no, I was just scouting.
just
So
scouting.
I just got to really enjoy it. There's no pressure, right, of having to hunt anything, and just really got to take it in and enjoy that. It was a cool moment.
Hell yeah. I don't know what this is. It says old timer versus young bull, but you were just talking about bulls. I'm gonna click it.
We have to.
Oh, it's a literal old timer
Old-timer
versus a
versus-
bull. He's trying to rope
He's
it.
trying to rope it.
Oh shit. Oh,
Dude, the lady in the background is the best part of that video.
Yeah,
like
she's
she's
filming.
seen it happen before. Really? She doesn't care at all.
He's like, God damn it. You know what it is? He told her back in the house, he said, damn it, I can still rope that boat. She said, no, you can't.
That's
You're going to hurt
exactly what
yourself.
happened.
Oh, I can show you. And that's what I get out of that.
You know, she was more pissed at him than she was the bull.
Yeah, she didn't seem worried about him at all.
No. Really? Like, we've been here before.
Yeah,
Oh, that
definitely
was
been there
awesome.
before, man. Shit. Oh, man. I don't know. I think we got to set our ego aside sometimes. We got to learn, like, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be an NFL player anytime soon. Or later.
Yeah, right. Especially as we get older. But there's always that little bit that wants to, like, reminisce and feel young again and feel like you can still do that stuff.
Again, like how you're saying, some of the venture capitalists or people in the business that help you out, they might like to, they see themselves in you.
Yeah.
Or you in themselves. Or
Yeah. Absolutely.
So for those just listening, it's a baseball game and it's a baby giving a lady a high five with the right hand, the lady's right hand. Baby gives a high five, totally cool. And then she sticks out her other arm, which is it's only half an arm. How would you describe that?
It's like 3 inches underneath the elbow. Yeah, a stump.
A
There you go.
stub. A stub. A
Stub. There
I
you go.
guess. What were you gonna say, Cameron?
The stub.
A stub, yeah. So the baby's looking at it, about to give it a high five, and then the face was just like, retract the hand, and oh my god, no.
The baby looks so disgusted.
Right, dude, but
I mean, that baby has no idea what's going on. Though.
no, it's like the first time it's seen something like this.
Right? I mean, I bet there's grown adults that do the same thing. I would think
Oh, you
so.
mean like
The
if,
same-
if
the
the
s-
lady was to do a high five to an adult?
Yeah.
Oh, she does that to all people all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I bet that's her
I bet it's a
thing.
test, right? If
That's
they can
funny.
be friends or
I bet
not.
that lady's got a good sense of humor.
I bet she does.
I bet a
Yeah.
lot of people, she just does that to fuck with them. Just to see how do I shake this?
Yeah.
I'd grab it. I'd shake it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I probably would too. I mean,
If she stuck it out, like as if
If
like
that was the
if
one-
she was like high five, I would just
Yeah,
go with it.
like
You know?
that's a fist bump.
It's a fist bump.
Yeah.
It's not a.
Like if she like stuck it out, I would fist bump.
Well, sometimes people will give me a fist pump and I'll just shake it. Like
Oh.
watch. No.
Oh, see, I was gonna.
yeah, you're gonna do it. Yeah, just like that.
That's
hilarious,
So
dude.
awkward, dude.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It catches people off guard. They're like, "What the fuck?"
So
Just something different. They're gonna remember you. You know. You
Yeah.
shake their hand like
Yeah,
that.
I usually go with the fist bump too, and it's like casual. Like,
Yeah, we had to change it up for
Yeah.
2 years. We were always
the
doing some
bows.
elbow and
Yeah.
kung fu for
Yeah.
2
Like
years.
forehead touch.
I wasn't
No.
I wasn't doing any of that.
No, I
No.
wasn't either. Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten away from that so quick. As fast as that came on, right, we're all going back to normal. Kind of.
Dude, I was
People-
wiping down my groceries with fucking, what was it? Lysol wipes.
I was
Yeah.
doing the same with like my drinks and stuff. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
we didn't know.
Yeah, open up the Amazon box, spray everything, leave it outside for a little bit. 'Cause you don't know.
It's ridiculous.
That's
I
great.
mean, like you think about it now, right? Imagine saying that stuff before that ever happened. You'd be like, "There's no."
Well,
way.
it's really weird because we we
Oh,
were
no.
watching Cat in the Hat, and like in that there was a few scenes. There was like the guy at the company like just completely sanitizing his hands and everything everywhere. It just looked obsessive, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that looks like 2
It's
years ago."
COVID.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's really changed the frame of mind for a lot of stuff.
I'd rather be extra clean like that than extra dirty like this.
Ooh.
Those are some bad feet,
Why do you
dude.
let that happen?
Those are I don't know,
And then
man,
you-
but
so you let it happen to start, and then you throw on the flip flops. You're like, "This."
you
was-
gotta let the dogs breathe.
Yeah,
You know,
but
there's
like,
no way this foot is fitting in a shoe with this big toe, this big. This is a huge
Yeah.
big toenail, man. That's
I
not
think
going
this
in a
person
shoe.
procrastinates.
Yeah, I think they're outside a lot. Oh, we get extra zoom.
Oh, the other
man.
one too. Oh, the
Oh,
other
it's-
one's worse.
It's fucked up.
The left
that's-
one's long, but the right one's a different shade.
That's just gnarly.
Oof.
I wish people took care of themselves better. But then again, you know what? I should take care of myself better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a 6-pack.
Right. No,
My
me
feet
neither.
don't look like that, but I don't have I don't have
Yeah.
a six pack.
I don't know. The toenails get a little long sometimes, but I don't get that long.
There's that. I don't want to look like that.
No.
This guy wants to look like that.
He does. I mean, he started with the stash, right? That's like never a good. It's like never a good move. Just the stash.
As Tom Segura calls it, a good dick broom.
Oh, there you go. I love that. Tom Segura is so funny, man.
Extreme mountain biking. Thanks for watching some reaction videos with me,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Oh, dude.
A little lighter.
No, my
That's
God.
a rock.
It's a mistake.
Oh. Gotta lift the front wheel. She went.
Gotta learn
full-
the hard way. Every time
True.
I see this, I just see myself doing dumb shit like this as a
Yeah.
kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
dude.
Absolutely.
Jumping off of the, there was a part in the Jemez, back in the day, like in just a small spot where you could jump off into the creek, and
Okay.
it was deep enough. You couldn't see that it was deep enough. You just trust it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it worked out, but apparently a couple years later, like it got too shallow. Kids couldn't do it anymore. People couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. They'd get hurt.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
Probably
you're right.
poor
This-
choices.
Yeah. There's good analogies here. Right.
See it again.
You think she went? You think she tried it again?
I bet this was her second try.
You think so?
Look how slow she's going up to it.
Ah.
She's thinking about it harder.
Oh, that's a good point. She really is. You see the hesitation.
Oh, you know what? Is that somebody else over here? Is that somebody else over there? Or is she just going down? Why is Home Slice filming like you got this and she's just the first one doing it? Oh man.
Man, that one hurt.
That ruins the oh yep, there is.
There is a
there
guy
is.
on the log. I
There
wanna
is a
see
guy.
That
So-
angle too.
So
man.
there was kind of this expectation that she had to do it. I'm going to be 100% honest with my wisdom in life. If I were going on a mountain biking expedition and the people I went with did it and I saw that, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to pick my bike up and walk down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Do you-
I've been there before. Not mountain biking. I had a buddy that was he's a crazy skier. And I had like just started snowboarding that year. He's like, "Come on, let's go off back country."
Ooh.
And I'd start to go down and I was like,
You're a snowboard or skis?
snowboard.
Okay.
And so he was a skier.
Backcountry.
And I was like, I just been going like 10 times. And he's like, "Oh, you're good enough. Let's go." It's like, and then like, what do you do though? Do you hike back out of, like powder for 100, 200 yards? It's like, guess you just send it. But there's a couple of times I came up on ledges like that and he'd jump off and I'm like,
How'd you
I ain't doing
just
that,
go
dude."
around or
yeah,
what?
I just take the board off, walk around and go down another way.
Super smart. Yeah. Don't put yourself in risky positions,
Yeah.
people, man. Here in a
Man,
second.
there's quite a list.
There's a lot, man.
I forgot what it was titled. It was like masculine self-care. Here, let's do a control F. Right? That's how smart people do things.
There you go.
You got it.
Oh, it's right there.
Haha, look at me. I'm learning. Let's see if it still connects it to the same video. It might not. Yep, here we go.
Man, so many of these.
It's one of my
just-
favorite ones, man. What was you saying?
Oh, I'll mention after. I've seen this video.
Oh, you have?
Dude,
What do you think
it's-
of it, man?
It's a lot.
You think it's too much? You'd never get a care like this?
I'd try it.
Yeah?
I'd try it once. Like this part though, I don't know about the.
That's a
So
selling
on it.
point. That's a marketing point.
it?
I think that's also for the video too. Sparkling water on the head, because it makes you go, "What the fuck is that all about?"
Right. See, there's like one thing where it's like, oh, like that might be nice.
It's so funny. I think legitimately half of it is for just comedic marketing aspect of
it's like
the
half
video.
of it. You're like, that might be kind of like enjoyable.
Yeah,
Just breathing.
it's too much. You know what? I just had an idea. I'm gonna take a lot of these sounds and I'm gonna sample them and I'm gonna make a beat out of it.
You need the one right there with his ears when he's like getting his ears washing. That's. Nah,
You
too
could
far.
you could make hella beats out of this shit. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that one's a little much.
That one's a little much. Then we're
Yeah.
definitely not gonna watch the other one.
No, we can watch it. I'm just saying, like, I personally.
Oh, you
I don't
mean as
know
far
if-
as a treatment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the treatment.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's the last one. Nah. I don't know.
Fuck it, do it.
Fuck it, do it. I mean, it's on. It's like
it's gonna be fucking miserable. But
it's
do it.
it's gonna be stupid.
Oh no.
It's fucking dumb, dude.
Oh,
This
no.
guy's eyes. It's over the top. It's a really intense video.
It doesn't even look like a real person.
No, I don't know why it's not playing either. Is
Yeah,
this
we-
universe
we've
telling
been
us not
saved.
to watch it? It's
Yeah, I
not
think-
going to load it. No, there's no dick. It's just like the ear part of that last video,
Uh-huh.
but with
like,
this
the
guy's
whole thing.
crazy face in the background
Yeah, I
and
could
with-
see a little bit.
with oil.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I think the universe is telling us not to watch it.
I think it's a pass today.
Yeah, it's a pass today. I got a few more, I think, from the old one. Human Tower. Oh, dude, this is nuts. I wonder if your software
gonna be
could
loud.
could run stuff like this to see how safe it is for like stunt peoples to do
Probably
stuff
model
like
stress on joints and stuff like
Yeah,
that for
dude.
like certain people, and what happens if one person
Get him.
shifts.
because you'd need every person's body
Yeah.
data, right?
Hmm.
Let's see. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's not good on my end.
You're good.
Let's see. So it's a huge tower of people. I don't know where is this in.
Oh, they're
Spa-
still going.
Oh, you know, actually, this is from Steve-O's Instagram.
It's gotta be like
Oh.
Spain or somewhere, right?
It's definitely in Europe. It's like Italy or Spain or something. But they send a kid with the helmet all the way to the top at the very end. So let's count how many people, because it's like a pile. It's a parachute pile of Christmas tree of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's like 9 layers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single people and 6 kids. 6 single, or the kid at the top.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that would be terrifying.
Dude,
As
they're
the
about to
child-
fall.
Yeah, no, fuck yeah, they're
Oh.
gonna fall.
Oh, they fell not gracefully at all.
No, dude,
Oh,
they came down hard.
that looked hard.
but
you know
kids
the-
wearing a helmet.
Yeah, the person really struggling is that one right at the bottom, like right before
the single
three
guy
people.
who's got to
Yeah,
hold
who's
5
holding
of
like
them.
5 people.
Yeah, that's
That person
that's
is
a-
the real MVP.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He's the critical point of break.
Yep.
But the kid couldn't stand up. He got
I
really
think the kid
close.
was the one that broke. I think it's that dude in the third guy in the middle right there.
Oh, with the knees bowed in a little.
Yeah, he breaks.
Oh, he breaks.
Oh,
Well, the
you
kid
can
couldn't
see
stand
it.
up all the way. The kid kind of lost confidence there at the end.
It's probably like it's probably the same feeling as like when you're going too fast on a skateboard. You know,
And you
wobbling.
like start to speed wobble
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
longboard.
God dang.
Oh, I've been there.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
like watch, he's about to wobble.
Well, even climbing up the backs of everybody, right? You're like, humans do some crazy shit, man. I'll tell
Yeah,
you what.
it's like,
blows
all
my
right,
mind,
it's
dude.
Sunday. Let's go make a human tower.
It's, yeah.
Like, what are these
straight
people on the outside doing? They're just like holding everyone in.
up. I don't know. Maybe it's
See him go.
there. He goes. Almost. Almost.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Oh.
collective
Oh,
thing.
that person on the top fell so hard, man.
Hey, at least there's a lot of bodies to fall into.
True.
Don't do too much coke. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, it's just some chick with this nose patch surgery thing. She had
Oh,
like
I
a
saw
she had like a
that.
skin graft
Yeah,
all the way.
I
Yeah,
saw that
it's-
because she
there's-
lost like feeling in her nose. Oof, that one was rough, man. That one was rough.
Your mother.
Damn, dude. See, you know what? I'm gonna start recording these videos in my OBS
Yeah.
so they don't get taken down.
Start downloading them.
This is nonsense, dude. Because it's all everyone's so sensitive these days.
Yeah, it's hard.
Let's see if this one will pop up. Now this one's a trip. Let's get the volume right on this. We can actually. Let's see.
Evil toy blocks.
Okay.
C. That makes sense. Then it goes D.
So just a little bit of preface is like I like in a lot of the episodes to talk about like ghost stuff and like the other side, you know, some
Yeah.
Luciferian how it links back to stuff. Cameron
Mhm.
thinks it's all nonsense, that none of it, that there's no conspiracies, but I keep finding stuff that makes me convinced that there's some groups of people who are out to do bad things, and
Huh.
this is some old toy blocks from last century,
Okay.
and I don't know if this means anything.
EMONS. Demons. This is from the 1930s, dude. No one's making shit like that back then. As a
company
joke,
made
you know?
that?
So it's a company, Gateway Toy Company. So
Anything on the back of it?
This is a gateway, right? That's all we know about it. Like,
Get it? Oh, I get a gateway.
Right, right. Danvers, Massachusetts. Wow. These things are really, really hard to find. I, of course, have them. It's just, here's the deal. This is the craziest thing. So the first thing is, there's hidden messages in these blocks. So the first thing when you look at this box, it says family. It's the only word on there that is in all caps, right? So what happens if you spell the word family with the blocks? Where's my other?
Why is
The
missing?
Y is over there. Let me spell it right. So I have to sometimes. Here we go. Yep, there we go. So if I spell family in these blocks, if I just turn them all over, check this out. M-U-R-D-E-R on the other side. So imagine that children.
So. This is wow. That's probably
These fucking idiots, I swear to God.
It's like that.
exactly. There goes Cameron. He hates these fucking idiots. I mean,
It's like
not that the voodoo's actually doing anything, but it definitely means there's a psycho designing these blocks.
here. Do you think they're just like trolls?
Do you think these are true? Let's look up What was it? Gateway
Toys.
Gateway
you know there
Toys?
has to be like some toy designer that's like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and someone's gonna find it.
Well, that's how like a lot of black magic and voodoo works and stuff. Is you have people like saying stuff. It's like encrypted in songs and like messaging, and you've got kids like that's why we were taught like this is how you draw a star when you're a kid. Haha! Now we're all just drawing pentagrams all day long. Pentagram, 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 pentagram.
Oh,
Stars don't
interesting.
actually look like that.
Right.
Luminary stars in the sky are not five-pointed. Gateway Comics and Toys. Now here's the next question: is this an old company, or is this really a new company that's gimmicking as an old company? Has tens of thousands of toys, figures, and models. Okay, I'm believing they're
It's
older.
like a, Nova Gateway Comics and Stores. It's like a storefront.
What was he saying in the video? Let's see.
It's like that. He said he was super old.
Demons. This is from the 1930s, dude. No one's making shit like that back then as a
What company
joke, you
made
know?
that?
The guy in the camera. He's such a bad actor. He's so not.
He's fueling this guy so hard.
Wow.
Oh, sick.
Let's see. So let's
So
see.
it's a company, Gateway Toy Company.
Gateway Toy Company. Let's see. All right, Cameron. I'm gonna hand this off to you because you can see better. I don't know, man.
I feel like someone.
I think
was
a lot of
troll.
Toy. You think they're
I
trolling?
think in this one, like, I think the demons. That was definitely purposely
on
put
the
there.
outside of
Like,
the
you
top
don't
of the
just
box.
like throw five random letters to generate, and the chances that that's like demon. But like the inside one, I don't know. That's like have you seen the one where like there's some lady talking about like how the monster can, like there's some hidden symbolism of like the monster logo, like 'cause
well,
when you turn
I
it
know-
upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah, it's like, what is it?
Well,
I
we're
don't have
talking
the
about
monster
the
up here.
three strikes, which is the numerology in Hebrew. It's the number 666.
Yeah, and then I
Right?
think that's part of it, and then like the O in monster, there's like a small like cross component to it. So then when
An
you
upside-
drink it, you're
oh,
like turning it upside down.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, let's take it on a practical approach. Do you want to be drinking Monster every day, or is
No.
it gonna hurt your health?
No, I mean I did for a long time. I
Me
drank
too, man.
Monsters
Oh,
every
dude,
day.
me too, bro. I
It
was
was
bad on
terrible
them.
for me.
But-
Terrible.
so we know that. We know it's bad. So it's like it matches up.
yeah. Oh,
It
see.
lines up, and that's really, the way the number 6 is written in Hebrew is kind of like that
Okay.
7 looking number.
Yeah. Or you can just be like, or it's claws ripping through a can.
I think that's the
What's that term?
Design.
Oxcam's razor, whatever.
Oh. Yeah.
That just the simplest answer is more often the truth.
Yep. Absolutely. I think that's
Oxcan's
usually-
razor. What is that? What do you what?
Occam's razor.
Occam's razor. Yeah.
That's a little theory.
Dude, that's such a long way to explain
I
a
was just
simple
gonna
concept.
say.
What?
That's like some 1700s way of describing the.
Yeah. It's just the simplest answer is more often not the truth, basically.
Yep.
Well, who knows?
And these guys are idiots.
They are idiots.
That's the truth.
Yeah, there's like, and then what's up with the Satan picture in the background too?
Yeah, you're right.
That
It's
guy's
their whole
looking
thing.
for it.
Like he's
looking for
potentially
it.
looking.
He's
at it.
triggering.
If you
he's
look hard
triggering-
enough,
Yeah, He's tricking the big idiot, which is me, because I'm like the guy in the camera, like, whoa.
Like, oh, what if, man?
So, oh, dude, this is nuts. This is gonna be helpful for anyone that gets a ring stuck on their finger.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
dude. Cameron. We don't have to watch this whole thing. This is part 2.
Man.
Is this part 2? This is yeah, I don't. Why wear jewelry?
No,
I
I
don't
wear
get it.
a silicone ring.
You can get it right off, my
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
It's like
but-
I work on cars and stuff, right? Like, I'm terrified of getting my finger caught in something like that.
Oh God, yeah. It's just, to me, it's uncomfortable, especially as a musician, having shit on my fingers, trying to play around and stuff. I mean, some
True.
guys like it, you know, Johnny
How
Depp
does-
or.
How does that
Yeah.
happen?
How does what, Cameron?
That happen? Like you just
You
really get-
you leave a ring on your finger for a year or two when you get married, and you get depressed and fat because you're unhappy,
Why don't you
and
take it
nobody puts you in check in your fucking fat hands. And one day you go, I want to take this ring off, and you can't fucking take it off, and then you start freaking out, and then your finger starts swelling up.
Yep.
That's what I imagine.
No, I 100%.
Or
you gain a lot of weight.
it's a brand new ring that they're like, oh, let me put this on,
True. They go on easy.
and they just couldn't get it off,
Yep.
and they you know, this all happened in a matter of a day or two.
Yep. I mean, you can swell a lot too. Right?
So yeah, so this is intense. I don't know if he gets it off in this video. No, there's no resolution. So anyone who's waiting for that good release,
2.5-minute video with
Yeah.
no resolution.
we could go to part 2, and I think he gets it off. But
You see that guy's beard?
no, let's go.
No, wasn't paying attention to the
There's a human face in there. I didn't see a human
On
face.
The side?
Oh,
Is it
on the side?
recommended or
Oh
related?
yeah, it might not even pop up the same.
Damn it.
Yeah,
We
different.
lost it.
So now I saw this originally done by like someone in India, by like an Indian video. This is another way to get a ring off of a finger, and it uses the principles of, you know, leverage and spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use a string, or you can use what they use in this case, which is a bandage. Let's see if it'll play. So this is an old lady's finger. This is probably more the whole, I got a ring, it's old, stuck on my finger.
Yeah, it's probably been on there for 30 years.
So she tucks the band under the ring, and then they wrap the band around the finger, and now they're going to twist the actual string and kind of slide the ring right off.
Oh.
And you can even hear the rest of the people are gasping. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, this is such an effective way to take off a ring. So people, if you get a ring stuck on a finger, you know, go work out. Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Oh,
I'll hop to the end here.
that's brutal.
Cameron, what time are we at?
We're a little over 2 hours.
A little over 2 hours? You say you want to wrap it up? Do you have any last comments or
No, just thanks again, man.
any last like shout outs to any companies
His
other than
company.
your own? Your own, right? But if you partnering with anybody,
Yeah, I mean, you know, the big news this week was Q Station. So us
Okay.
getting accepted into, it's on our LinkedIn, I think.
yeah. Okay, that's that a big one that you guys use? is
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
we're big on LinkedIn right now.
It's funny. LinkedIn is trying to copy social
Always gotta
media
log
people.
into-
Oh yeah, I don't.
LinkedIn is just social media for professionals.
Yeah, so that's where we're posting most of our like announcements and stuff like that. So like if anyone is interested in what's going on with us and the company, is we're, you know, here in New Mexico looking to hire anything like that and stuff, you can reach out on our page. There's a little bit of info
This
on
is
our
your team?
website. Yeah, this is our team.
The cars.
We tried to keep it fun, man, and
Nice.
And we, you know, you can get stuck a little bit in, you know, trying to be super professional, and we want to still have that relatability a little bit.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Um,
Hey, there's the box that you
there's,
brought.
there's the box. So, yeah, you know, if anyone is interested, you can check us out. LinkedIn, that's where we, you know, post most of our announcements and stuff like that for now. We're looking to have Instagram and Twitter
I think
presence
that's a
here
good
soon.
move. Like yeah.
So we're looking to, you know, develop. We're trying to secure the accounts that were under our name already, but we didn't have any luck there. So, you know, so keep an eye out for that. We'll hopefully have some fun videos coming soon that'll, you know, try and redefine the technology and make it a little more interesting to a broader group of people. So
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
crank them out. A lot
Yeah.
of lot of short ones under 30 seconds, and
Uh-huh.
even post the same exact one. Post it more than once.
okay,
The only one I've had on luck with Instagram was
Mm.
an exact copy.
okay,
It's like a post and then an accidental repost, and the repost took
They're the
off.
same
really
picture.
interesting.
Bizarre, and that phenomenon is actually studied and looked into by teams like Gary Vee's teams looks into that kind
Uh-huh.
of stuff, and a lot of
Yeah.
these social media teams like why.
Yeah, my wife's got a big fitness Instagram social media presence, like TikTok and stuff, and
Hell yeah.
man, it's interesting, right? Just how much like some of these posts, right? It doesn't matter, like just some take off, right? Some of her posts have like 1 million views, right? And
Wow.
it's the most random stuff, and then like the ones that you really put effort in, you really try, it's like 2,000 views. It's crazy. So there's something to the algorithm, but
Right on.
yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Connor Brown from
Thank you.
Hunify. I
Thanks
pronounced
again.
that correctly.
Yeah, Hunify Technologies Incorporated. It's the full name, but we just say Hunify.
Right
So-
on.
So sweet.
Dude, thanks again for joining me
Absolutely.
today. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Right on. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.